So thank you so much for listening while I went over all the room details and the confidentiality. I want to start today with getting to know each of you better. And one way that I like to do that is to learn more about you in regard to certain factors like socioeconomic status, religion, race and ethnicity, gender, sexuality, let's see what else, ability level. So anything like that that will help me understand your experience in the world and just know more about you so that I'm better able to help you. And since I'm asking each of you to share that with me, it's only fair if I share a little bit about myself with you. So I will go first. Let's see. I identify as a white female, and I grew up in the South, which you could probably tell as soon as I spoke to you.
Thought so.
So the reason I wanted to share those three things with you is because each one of those has impacted the way that I experience life and experience the world, and as well as the way that the world experiences me, if you will. So for example, being white, for me, that means that I'm given certain privileges that are not necessarily earned. So for example, let's see what I can think of. For example, things like better job opportunities and higher pay, and even maybe like better housing opportunities, stuff like that, that is given to me because of the color of my skin. And I think it's important for me to be aware of that and to keep that in mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have any questions about what I just shared?
I don't think so.
Okay. I would like to ask each one of you to share those things with me, what you're comfortable sharing and what you think will let me know the most, or will let me know about you in order to help you the best that I can. So again, just things like race and ethnicity, gender, sexuality, religion, anything that will help me understand how you might experience the world.
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm a white woman as well. I have gotten my associate's degree. I don't really use it anymore, but I have it. And I am a working mother and wife.
Okay. Tell me about getting your associate's degree.
I got it thinking I could find more jobs in it, but ended up not going down that avenue. So now I'm a manager at an elementary school in their cafeteria.
Wow, so I mean, getting your associate's degree is a big accomplishment though, and something that I'm sure you're proud of.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't done too much for me, but I guess it's an accomplishment.
Yeah, you worked hard to get it. Yeah. And you said you're a manager at a cafeteria, a school cafeteria?
Yes.
What's that like?
It's really great working with all the kids. I really enjoy that, and I mean, school politics, can be rough, but overall, it pays the bills, and yeah.
Well, it's always nice to have a job that you like and isn't driving you crazy.
Yes, all the time.
I wanted to ask you, you said you identify as white, and I wanted to ask you what does that mean for you?
Well, I don't think I've ever really thought about that too much, because we've, really both worked pretty hard all through our lives, but I guess, like you said, better job opportunities. I think I've probably gotten, most of the women that I work with are Hispanic, and so I think me being in a manager position probably had something to do with being white.
So kind of similar to me, you think you've recognized some spots in your life where being white has helped you out, and you said specifically in your career to be able to get to that manager role that even though you worked hard, you think that might have something to do with it?
Yeah.
That's great awareness to have.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Was that all you wanted to share?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like to share next?
I can go.
Okay. That's Jacqueline, right?
Jacqueline.
Jessica,
Right.
Jacqueline, and John. Okay.
Yeah. 3 J's. So, similar to my mom, white female. You said sexuality. I'm bisexual.
Okay.
And let's see. I'm a student right now.
Oh, you're a student. Where do you go to school?
I go to CU.
What are you studying?
Psychology right now.
Oh. I think psychology is really interesting. Yeah. Tell me about what being bisexual is like for you. What it means to you, I guess, would be a better way of asking.
Yeah. I think it's different because I tell people that and they don't believe me because, they either think you're attracted to one sex or gender or, the other. And I say I'm bisexual and they think that's like a phase or it doesn't exist or something. It's a weird, I think, I don't know, weird thing that people think about bisexuals who they're not being faithful to one or the other, and it doesn't exist in real life or something. So it's something that I think I face a lot of discrimination, but my parents are accepting of it more or less.
So it's something that you have experienced a lot of discrimination with as far as pushback and people thinking that it's, you said, not a real thing?
Yeah, because they think it's, for example, if you're gay, then I feel like sometimes that's even more accepting than, or that's accepted more readily than being bisexual sometimes.
Okay, that makes sense. And then tell me more about, you said you identify as white. I want to hear about what that means for you being white.
I mean, I hear you talking about those unearned privileges, and I understand that, and sometimes we talk about it, in our classes. So I see that sometimes I feel like maybe I get treated differently, probably.
Because you're white?
Mm-hmm.
In what ways do you think that you're treated differently?
I have a few friends who, we talked about this before, and they say sometimes they feel like, they're judged based on their race and or ethnicity, and they have to represent certain people. And for me, I feel like, if I do something, people don't automatically think, oh, all white people are like that, so I don't feel that pressure or just that type of judgment from others.
Okay, thank you. So I want to say this back to make sure I'm understanding where you're coming from. So you're saying that some of your friends that identify as non-white sometimes feel as though they have to kind of be the spokesperson for their whole group of people, and you are aware that being white, you don't feel that same pressure. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's great awareness too. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share? Not right now? Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing with me. John, what about you?
Oh, my turn?
Your turn. Last but not least.
I mean, I don't know what to say, really, I guess. I'm a guy. Grew up with these two ladies, didn't grow up with, I guess. Like, I grew up with brothers, actually, all boys.
Oh, so your family's all boys. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Kind of flip-flopped having, Jackie here, so only man in the house.
What's that been like?
I've learned a lot about girls and ladies and their emotions, and I don't know. It gets to be a little bit of a roller coaster sometimes, let me tell you that.
What are some things that you've learned that you can think of?
I guess I've had to learn how to be a little softer with her. I feel like growing up, my dad and mom were real rough on all of us, and we were all rough on each other, and we would fight and get on each other and just roughhouse, and
like wrestling
just,
and
wrestling,
other things. Okay.
wrestling.
Wrestling.
You're from the South,
Yep. Yep.
So I feel like that's a lot different, because we could just like fight it out. And we never cried or anything. We just kind of got it out on the table. But with, I think, raising a daughter, it's just a lot different. She's a lot more sensitive and soft.
And that's helped you to learn to be a little softer.
A little bit. And
Did you know that about your dad, that he grew up kind of tough and wrestling and stuff with his brothers, but you taught him to be soft, a little more soft?
Well, I didn't know that. I taught him that. I mean, I assume my mom too has something to do with that.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Well, she's had to sit me down a few times.
Just a few.
Just a few times, yeah, I feel very protective over her. I feel like it is my job as her father to protect her and make sure.
A big sense of love and wanting to be there for her and protect her.
I think so.
Yeah. You said the first thing you said was that you identify as a man, and other than what we had just talked about, growing up with brothers and kind of roughhousing and all that, what else does that mean to you, being a man? Yeah.
I don't know if I thought about it that much, other than what I just told you. I feel like I have to protect my family, take care of them.
Okay. So being a man for you is protecting your family, taking care of them?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you do that?
Working every day, working hard, making sure we have a roof over our heads, paying the bills. I mean, my wife chips in too. She works real hard too, so I give her a lot of credit for that. But I do feel like it's my primary job to do that.
I heard both of you say hard work. And you're in school in psychology, so you all must be hard workers.
Yeah, and we've never been, too comfortable with money, I guess, or, so we gotta work to make sure we can pay everything. And
hard not to fight out there.
I think that's a great quality to have. It shows strength and not be afraid of hard work.
Thank you.
Is there anything else, John, that comes to your mind as far as identities go? Anything with religion or, let's see, what else was there? Race or ability level, anything like that that you think is important for me to know?
I mean, you all were talking about race and being white, I guess. I'm white too, obviously, but I feel like I work just as hard as everyone else. And, there's a lot of guys at the auto body shop where I work who are Mexican, or I guess the right term is African American. But I feel like we all work equally hard and we're all the same. Despite skin color, I treat everyone the same. So I don't know if it's as big a deal as they're saying, but I just try to treat everyone with respect.
I think that's a good way to go. I think being respectful to everyone is a kind thing to have.
That's what I believe in.
Yeah. So hard work and being respectful. That's what's important to you.
Absolutely.
And taking care of your family. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
And I know I've said this 3 separate times, but I want to reiterate, thank you for sharing that with me. I know that it can be hard to come in and talk to a complete stranger about your personal identities. And so I want to just thank you again for that, for being able to, or being willing, I guess I should say, to open up and share those with me. I wanted to say that who we are and how we experience the world is something that I think is an important part of the counseling process. And by that I mean, let me think of an example here. So if I were to be talking to one of you about something, and we'll say Jessica, and I think that maybe being a female has something to do with the way you're experiencing something. I would like to be able to ask you if you had ever related those two in your mind or thought they had anything to do with one another. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What about, did that make sense, the example?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. And then also I want y'all to be able to bring it up as well if you think, hey, that might be because I'm white. I want you to be able to say, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Let's see. I want to get into our session now. I want to hear from each one of you what brings you here and what you hope to get out of today. And I'd like to start with Jessica because I think you're the one that made the point.
So I was referred to from the therapist that I'm seeing for myself. And I think we just really needed to come in because there's, just a lot of fighting between, us and our daughter. She's chosen to go to school instead of actually working and providing for herself. And, that's not something we really agree with. And she's living with her boyfriend, and we're supporting that. And it's just a lot of fighting lately. And, I'm in individual therapy, to make sure I can be the best mother and wife I can be. And I just don't know if, they had suggested maybe bringing in the whole family. So
that's really brave of you to be in your own counseling and to have so much respect and love for your family that you want to work on yourself individually and to be able to bring them here.
Thank you.
Yeah. I heard you say that your daughter is in school and that y'all were supporting her. I'm wondering, you said that you gave me the impression that that's not what you would like for her to be doing. And I'm wondering what it is that you would like for her to be doing.
We would like her to be working. I mean, we did that. Like I said, I had my associate's degree. That did nothing for me. I don't know why she thinks the world is something where she can, you know, just hang out and do nothing for 4 years and expect us to pay for it, you know.
I am working well.
Is that accurate? She's working?
She's working, but not enough to take care of herself. I mean, we're still paying. She works and maybe gets the money she gets to play. We pay for everything else. You know, she's just racking up debt, and I just don't get why she feels the need to do this. It just seems like one of those, you know, millennial dreams that you can do something and you just need to work for it. I mean,
I am working for it. I'm working for my degree so I can get a job that pays better.
you don't need
And
a
I'm
degree
working
for that,
literally
though.
right
I mean, we make fine money working hard. We've done it all our lives. It's just such a waste of time and money with what she's doing. She's blowing money instead of actually earning it.
I totally do not agree with that.
So something you told me when we first started the session was that you had your associate's degree, and that while you worked hard to get it, and it was something that you're proud of, that you haven't really been able to use it, that it
Correct.
hasn't come in handy, that you spent all this money on it and then aren't using it.
Yeah.
How does this influence your view on Jacqueline being in school?
I think it gives you real life proof of that's what it is. Mine was completely useless. It didn't change anything in my pay. It didn't guide my career. It just is proof that what she's doing is just a waste of time.
So from your view of the problem is that, I'm going to try to put all your words into one succinct thing, so bear with me. Your view of the problem is that you're not understanding why your daughter's wanting to be in school when it didn't work out for you. And not only that, but it's straining the family money-wise.
Yeah. I mean, we're paying, she's got student loans. We're helping to try and pay some of that, so she doesn't have huge debt. We're paying for her apartment with her ridiculous boyfriend, and she's far too young to be living with him, and he doesn't pay most of the rent. If he does, it's late. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
And then I also heard you say that y'all have been fighting more often. And I'm wondering if the fighting is directly related
Yes.
to her schooling or...
Yes. I mean, she's by, once or twice every couple of weeks, but I mean, I've noticed also more fighting with Rich. And I don't know if that's really, we both agree on this, so I don't think it's necessarily anything with her, but fighting with her is definitely, I think it's maybe just add stress to our marriage as well.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I also wanted to know what you hope to get out of this.
Of fighting? That would be great.
Less than the fighting.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And then I'd like to open it up to one of you two to share what's been going on and what brings you in today.
I completely do not understand just their reasoning. Like, I feel like I am in school and I'm doing well. I'm working towards a better future. There's a certain career that I'm interested in.
That pays no money.
It pays more than what y'all are making right now.
To do a career, you have to go back to school. You just waste more money.
No, I don't want to do the type of work that y'all are doing, so I don't understand why you're making me go down that path. Like, you do backbreaking work oftentimes, like, it's not glamorous work, and, like, not that what I
Work
want to do
isn't
is
glamorous.
You want to be
It's-
glamorous?
Well,
Yeah.
not glamorous necessarily, but I don't want to be doing that type of work and, like, working so hard my whole entire life. I want to do something that I really enjoy, that I really love. So I don't really understand it. And I am working right now. I am supporting myself.
Barely.
And I'm
you're
doing
saying-
homes for myself.
You don't understand it, and by it, do you mean their view of you going to school? Okay. So in your mind, you're going to school for something that you're passionate about and that you are excited about working in that field later on once you graduate. And that's important to you to be able to have a job that you love and that isn't, as you put it, like backbreaking work and whatnot. Okay. And you're not understanding why they don't understand that about you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why people go to college. There's a reason why other people go to college, too. It's not just me. Millions of other people.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share as far as what brings you in today?
No, I mean, it's like we're fighting a lot. There's a lot of, I think, that negativity. I don't like that.
So
And
both
it's
of you, it's what? I'm sorry.
It's stressful.
Stressful.
I don't even want to go home anymore because they're just always, like, they're fighting about it and they're always giving me lectures about it. It's just tiring.
What was it like before? I have a sense that this is not a normal thing for y'all to be fighting so often. I've had both of you two mention that part of the reason you're here is because you're fighting. And I wanted to ask, I realize I just asked another question, but give me one second. I wanted to check in over here with you. Is that accurate? Would you say that y'all are fighting more often?
I guess so. If this one over here would just get her act together, maybe we wouldn't be fighting so much.
So y'all are all on the same
Responsible.
page as far as y'all are fighting more often. I wanted to go back. I'd asked you what's different about this, do you think, than before?
I don't really know when it started. It's like, you know, I don't think they were as opposed to this when I first said I was going to go to
I
college.
didn't really think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
They didn't think it was going to happen.
But it
So-
did, and
And
here
it
you
did,
are.
yeah. And I worked hard. Just, you know, bear with me. I just don't understand. Like, other parents are super excited about their kids, you know, going to college. Like, there's, I don't know why.
And they have to pay for them for the rest of their life.
For
They'd
the
like
rest
you
of
to
their
start
life.
working.
It's not
Mhm.
true. It's not true.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. It means a lot that you are willing to share a difference in opinion here with me. I think that takes a lot of strength, so thank you for doing that. And then over here to you, would you tell me a little bit about what brings you in today and what's been going on?
I guess all I can say is ditto to what my wife said.
Okay.
She's just being a millennial and wanting to do her passions or whatever and racking up debt. And it's just not realistic.
What do you think would be more realistic?
She could just get a respectable job. She's a smart young lady and start paying her bills. I'm sick of putting a roof over her and that boyfriend's head. And she just has fun money. She works part-time, but it's just for her to go out and party. So,
Is that true? Is the money that you earn?
No, that's not true.
It's not going towards tuition or rent.
nope.
Well, I eat
Bills.
too.
Mm-hmm.
I buy school supplies. I don't think you realize how much textbooks cost too.
We're paying
Another
for
reason
them.
not to go
You
to
don't pay for
college.
everything. I took out loans for that reason.
So back over here, you said ditto to what Jessica said. And if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, what she had said was that she is feeling stressed out because of the money that y'all are spending to support Jackie, as well as not really understanding her drive and passion to pursue a degree in psychology. Y'all both would rather her start a job right now?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the difference in that, in her starting a job now versus going to school and then starting a job that she is passionate about?
Oh, the difference is a boatload of money that she's going to rack up in debt. So,
Or for a job that's not going to make much. I mean, I'm sure you know you're a counselor and that's what she wants to do. You don't make much. And I mean, she makes just about as much as I'm making now, so what's the point?
So
Mhm.
rude.
Yeah, you got your associates. Didn't
Yeah.
do nothing with it.
That's different. An associate's is different from a bachelor's.
So you two are on the same page as far as everything related to the problem goes, it sounds like.
I think we see eye to eye on that.
Thank you, John, for sharing. I'm going to pick on you a little bit more. I wanted to ask you, in today's session, so the next 25 minutes,
Mhm.
what could we do that would let you know that coming in to do this whole therapy thing with me was a good idea?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm only here because my wife wanted me to be
That's a pretty kind thing for you to come to support your wife.
It was a process.
Well, hey, he's here.
Yeah. I'd do anything for her, so I'm here. But honestly, I don't know how this is going to fix anything because we just don't agree.
I appreciate you being honest with me.
Yeah.
About all of that. So you can't think. There's nothing you can think of that we could do that would let you know it's a good idea to be here today.
If you could get my daughter to get a job, then it will be worthwhile.
So her having a job would be what would make this worthwhile to you.
If you can do your magic words and get her to do that.
I don't know if
you
I have magic
therapists,
words.
You got magic words or
Mind tricks
some
or
mind.
something.
Yeah, exactly. Jedi mind tricks. If you can get that to work on her, then great.
They sound so ridiculous.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
I'm
for
sorry,
sharing that.
that's kind of a joke, but I don't know if there's anything that we could do here.
I mean,
I'm just
maybe
a skeptic.
with us, that wouldn't be horrible either.
What do you mean?
We fight a lot too, and she's not home.
We wouldn't if it wasn't for her.
Y'all fight about other things too.
Well, I'm gonna let you off the hook. Thank you for your honesty and
No problem.
being open with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come over here to Jacqueline and ask you the same thing that I asked your dad. What is something today in the next 23-ish minutes that we could do that would let you know that it was a good idea to come and see me today?
I think it would be nice to hear from other people, not just me, the value of education. Because I'm so tired of having to advocate for myself, and they just don't believe me because I'm their daughter and I don't know what I'm doing apparently, and neither do millions of other students. So it would be nice if they could just get off my back and understand what I'm trying to do.
So you said it would be nice to have them hear from someone else that the value of education and what it can do for your career.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose that happened. Suppose that someone were to talk to them about that. What do you think would be different then?
I think they would be more understanding of this whole process. In the process, you put out money so that you can reap what you sow. So you invest money, and then later you get a job that pays back, and you enjoy the job, and there's room for promotion. There's a lot more opportunities with a degree.
And you said, the first thing I think you said was they would be more understanding, and I want to know what would that look like? What would mom and dad be more understanding? How would you know that they were being more understanding?
Well, I'm not delusional, so I'm not going to think that they're going to be supportive of me, but at least they're not always on my back about things. So maybe not yelling at me for being in school, which adds more stress. I'm trying to do well, and they're yelling at me for being in school.
What would they be doing instead of yelling, do you think?
Being calm, not talking about it, so we can talk about other things that's not school and why it's useless.
So widening up the conversation, talk about other things except other than just school all the time.
Mm-hmm. And if we talk about school, maybe even support you a little bit. Be like, oh, how are you doing? I'm glad you're working hard. I'm working really hard. I don't hear that from them.
So hearing, hey, kiddo, you're doing a good job. You've been working really hard. Something like that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that. And then, Mom, I'm going to pick on you now. What is something that we could do today in the session to let you know that it was a good idea to come in today?
Maybe having her understand as well our point of view and respect our life experiences and what we know. But I think ultimately it would be nice to get out of here and not fight with her and not fight with John.
So cut back on the fighting, but also I'm hearing from both of you, both of you really want more understanding of each other's point of view. So you're both on the same page. You both want to be understood.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, so tonight you go to sleep and you are sleeping, dreaming, and a miracle happens. And bear with me because this is a little magical thing in here. But a miracle happens while you're asleep, and everything in your life is fixed. Your problems are gone. Everything's the way you want it to be. But you were asleep, so you didn't know that this miracle happened. So you wake up in the morning, and my question is, what's the first thing that you would notice that would tell you, hey, my problems are gone. This is awesome. What's the first thing you might notice?
The first thing I might notice. I mean, maybe not necessarily that I want her to live at home, but maybe Jackie's home. Indicating she's not living with a boyfriend.
So you wake up in the morning, and the first thing you notice
I mean, the
is...
first thing I'd probably see is him, like most mornings. But then, yeah, I think maybe she'd be in the house.
You'd wake up next to your husband, and then Jackie would be home.
Yeah.
And then what would you do?
Maybe I'll go for a walk or something, or out to breakfast.
Together as a family?
Yeah, as a family. No fighting, no drinking, just have some fun. Maybe spend some time out in the park or something like that.
Okay, so you go to breakfast together as a family. I want to backtrack just a bit and ask you, what about Jackie being home is, what made you include that in your perfect day?
Well, it would show that she's not living with him and she's not going to school. And, it'd be a weekend, and so maybe she was just, relaxing like we are after a long week of work. And
I'm not sure. So, are you saying Jackie's home just visiting, or are you saying she's moved back home and is living at home?
I mean, I wouldn't want her to live back home. Maybe, yes, she was back home visiting. For, the weekend or something. Yeah.
Okay. So
I definitely don't want her to be living at home. I know she needs her space, and that's what we.
So independence is something you value for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you go to breakfast with your family, and what happens at breakfast?
Have a great meal, talk about how our weeks were, anything exciting, just the usual chit chat.
And then after breakfast, we're going to keep going with this. This is going to be a process.
All day. Okay.
So, after breakfast.
After breakfast, maybe go to the park and spend some time out there. Laying in the sun, that would be nice. Everyone here likes that, just a little R&R.
Relaxing.
Yeah. And I guess maybe come back home and hang out, cook dinner.
So in your perfect day, it sounds like a lot of family time.
Yeah.
But quality family time.
Quality, non-fighting, yelling family time.
So quality time for you means what?
Just getting along, talking about whatever.
Like you said earlier, talking about your day,
Yeah.
maybe laughing and just having fun like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you get back home, and then what happens?
We'd probably start cooking dinner. Jackie usually helps me. It would be, I guess, this is any day I can have.
Yeah, you're perfect.
He would be helping with dinner, maybe, or maybe actually he'd be cooking dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
He'd be cooking it. What would y'all be
It's
doing?
not my
So
perfect
We'd
day.
be sitting there just talking to him.
More talking, more family time.
It's
Yeah.
a miracle today.
It's a miracle day.
It is a
You are
miracle.
too
You're
much.
Exactly right. So, have all this family time throughout the day. Then dinner time comes around. John's cooking something for dinner, and you
Better
two
be
are
ribs.
around at ribs.
Like
Ribs, okay.
ribs.
They're down with ribs. Okay.
Alright.
So
As long
John's
as he's
cooking.
cooking, that's all I'm asking.
John's cooking ribs, and you two are in there talking with him.
Mhm.
Okay. And then after dinner, well, no, not after dinner. So then, dinner time. What happens?
We're all sitting around the table, kind of like breakfast, just talking. I think miracle day, maybe no beer or wine for anyone. That seems to kind of escalate our fights, and we're just having a good time and maybe watch a little TV afterwards before we all go to bed.
So you start the day together and you end the day together on positive terms throughout.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that would be her like ideal day, is to have so much family time and have everyone get along and be in good spirits?
Didn't know the part about me making dinner, but I
It's my
guess. I guess it makes sense. I could see that from her.
What about you, Jackie? Did you know that would be your mom's ideal day? Have you home and with them all day and everything else she described?
Not like the whole thing. I know that family time is really important to her, so that part's not surprising. But I can see that.
I think from both of you, from what you shared today, I just can tell there's so much love in this family. You all love each other a lot and are all willing to go the extra mile for each other. That's a great quality to have. I wanted to, we have about 14 minutes left. I wanted to ask you one more question. Well, not one more question, there's going to probably be several, I'll be honest. But, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the day that you called me, the way that you were feeling when you called to make the appointment, and then 10 being what you just described to me, your perfect day. Where would you place yourself right now?
Like right now?
Mm-hmm. How you're feeling today?
Maybe at like a 4.
4?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't, I don't know, you can still kind of feel some of the tension. I'm sure there's going to be an argument once we leave here, but, yeah, I mean, it seems like we're talking more, and there's been a bit of laughter, so that's a good sign.
So 1 being where you were when you made the appointment and now being at a 4, that's a pretty big jump. How do you think you're able to do that? Other than you just said y'all are talking a little bit more and laughing. Other things.
I think some of that is that they, decided to come with me. I think that I appreciate that, and that's kind of probably bumped me up a point or 2. Kind of gives me hope.
Hope is a great thing to have, especially when you're going through counseling, and it sounds like their support means a lot to you.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I'm wondering too, so you said you were at a 4. What do you think what would need to happen, or what would it take to bump you up to a 5?
Maybe after this there's no fighting or arguments. That would bump me up to a 5.
After this, meaning after the session today?
Mm-hmm.
For forever, or do you just mean like as soon as you leave, there's not a fight about to
As
break
soon as
out?
we leave,
Okay.
there's no fight.
So maybe you continue the way you're talking in here after this and are able to talk without arguments. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I want to ask all of you kind of as a family about a time in the past that you had a problem, maybe similar to this one, maybe not, that you were able to work through, and how you were able to do that. Might take a little brainstorming.
Yeah.
A problem?
Just anything that y'all worked through together as a family. I'm interested in how you were able to do that.
Well, maybe, I guess, at least from my point of view, maybe when she told us she was bisexual, it took us by surprise at first. I don't think we were absolutely horrible if it was to this level, but I think we were just sort of, confused at first and not really understanding it. And, to be honest, I don't fully understand it, but I respect her decisions to do it. She's comfortable with, but there was a bit of fighting and everything then.
How were you able to get through that?
I don't know.
Unconditional love. That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
And it didn't seem like something that was gonna, ruin her life. It's it's her choice who she decides to be intimate with, and
So y'all have been very supportive of her in that regard. And while it was confusing for you at first, it was something you could understand and be supportive of her. And like you said, John, unconditional love got y'all through it.
mhm.
Well, thank you for sharing that. We have about 9-ish minutes left, so I want to start wrapping up. So your goals for today, I'm going to try and paraphrase them back to you just to make sure I have a clear understanding of what it is you each want to accomplish and what you want to accomplish as a family. So feel free to correct me if I'm off somewhere. But I think basically what I heard is you all are on the same page and just wanting more understanding of each other's point of view and more support over here. You're wanting more support for school and some independence in that direction of school. Is that the overarching goal, would you say, is
Yeah.
more understanding and then less fighting,
Yes, that's
which I think would come along with
I
greater
yes, I agree.
understanding. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add to that? No, that sums it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you that I think that the fact that you all showed up here and were willing to talk to a stranger about what's been going on, I think that that shows a lot of bravery, and courage, and strength, and I think that that'll aid you in getting through this whole situation. And like you told me about the problem before that y'all had worked through, I think that y'all will get through this as well with those same qualities. I'm on your side and I'm rooting for you. I think you can handle this.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to ask, what was it like today working with me? And I want to hear from each one of you. So whoever wants to go first. And be honest, lay it on me.
I'm only honest.
I can count on you for honesty. You're right.
I thought it was very comfortable.
How so?
Our dynamic seemed not as tense, and I feel that, you know, at least from my perspective, we all got to kind of express ourselves in a manner in which I don't think we have in months, and yeah, I was just comfortable being in here with you.
Well, thank you. So it was comfortable for you, and a good thing that happened was being able to express yourself and talk differently than you have been for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can continue and do that. So I feel like I was able to say something and be heard.
And what was it like working with me today for you?
It's comfortable. It's good, I think. Like my mom said, it's nice to be able to talk to someone else about it and, you know, have them actually sit here and listen for the most part to what I'm saying.
So it's a change from what normally happens, in that you were able to talk and feel at least somewhat heard. Okay, thank you. Would it be something that you'd be willing to come back and try again?
Yeah.
What about you? Would it be something that you'd be willing to come back
Oh,
for?
of course, yes.
Oh, me?
Okay, so John,
Mm-hmm.
what was it like for you today working with me?
I didn't know really what to expect. I mean, the wife is a therapy expert, so she's the experienced one. But it was okay. I'm not into this whole feelings thing, you know. I've had to do a little of it raising a girl, but I guess I agree with these two that it was good to hear some stuff from them and not have the fighting and the yelling.
So you're all on the same page. It was nice to be able to talk in a way that was maybe a little bit slower than what you're used to, and being able to kind of get your point across without fighting or yelling or being interrupted or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay.
We weren't fighting.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you all worked really hard today to not only share, your perspective and your point of view, but to be open and at least hear what the other person was saying. I appreciate that. Is this something you'd be willing to try again?
If my wife and daughter want to try it again, I will try it again.
I will drag him kicking and screaming.
Not
So
the
if
first
they're on
time
board,
that's
you're on
happened.
board.
I'm on board. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. We've got about 4 minutes left. One thing, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. I wanted to ask, what is something that, and this can be individually or it can be as a group, what is something that y'all could work on in between this session and the next week? Just a baby step to get you towards meeting your goal of being more understanding and less fighting.
Hon, you're the therapy expert.
Your opinion doesn't hurt either. I would say maybe having a meal together where we don't yell or fight.
I see head nods all around, so sounds like a good plan. So sometime in the next week, having a meal together and really focusing on kind of what we did here today, talking and hearing each other and getting along in that way and not fighting, like you said.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I will look forward to checking in with you next week to see how that goes. All right. Well, did y'all have any questions about anything today before we leave?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I'm a little early, but I have 3
That's
minutes
okay.
left.